here's a good routine you can try to kind of change things up in your workout routine, and something that you should do every so often anyway, because you want to keep it fresh, you want to stay motivated in your routine, plus you really want to challenge the muscles. I mean, if you're doing the same thing all the time, the muscles kind of get bored with that, and some of the studies out there are starting to indicate that you might detrain because of the fact, just like you, if you were to do the same thing every day, you'd get a little bored with it. So, you can change the resistance, you can change from selectorized pieces of equipment to free weights or to exercise tubing. You can even throw in some body resistance exercises to kind of make it fresh, keep yourself motivated. Or you can even change the technique that you use to lift the weights. And one technique that really hasn't really gotten much attention, although it should, is the Slo Mo Technique. And as the name implies, the Slo Mo Technique is basically a slow motion rep. And the beauty about it is that it helps to recruit more muscle fibers through the entire range of motions so that you do get a better strength move. When you go to the gym, and you may be guilty of this yourself, but you see a lot of people just throwing weights back and forth. They get into a piece of equipment or they grab some dumbbells, and basically they rush through their reps. They push it out back and forth. Now what happens in that situation is that you're going to recruit the muscle fibers in the first third or so of the movement to get the weight started, but then momentum tends to take over the rest of the exercise. If you slow the rep down like you do in the Slo Mo Technique, you basically wipe out momentum, and therefore you recruit those additional muscle fibers, and that's why it's been proven to be the best technique to improve strength gain. All right, so let's see what this technique is all about. I'm going to do it in the positive phase, in the concentric phase when the muscle is contracting and shortening. Some folks have, it's been reported, they do it in the negative phase where they go out quick and come back slow. And there's even been some stories where some people have done it in both the positive, the concentric, and the eccentric phases, which that'll really knock you out. But basically just start with the concentric phase, the positive phase as you're pushing the weight. So we're going to get into a starting position. All right, we're going to go out to a 10-second count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, halfway, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4, halfway, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Back to a 2 count, and so on. 8 to 12 reps. So you can see it really takes some discipline, and you got to be patient with this. There are people that will get into the machine and they'll start quick and then slow down. And then there'll be those that will tend to start off nice and smooth and then speed up because they want to get that rep done. They want to get out of that machine and get on to the next station. But you got to be patient and persistent, nice, smooth, and steady. Notice at the halfway point, instead of the 5, I was saying halfway to give you a benchmark as to where you are in that rep so you know whether to slow down or to speed up. Now with the weight, you really need to bring the weight down to what you're typically using. So let's say on this chest press machine, you were using 100 pounds. When you do the slow-mo, the recommendation is to start off by cutting the weight in half. So you would start with 50 pounds and then see how it feels. If you get off the machine after doing 8 to 12 reps and you feel like you really didn't get much out of it, then add another 5 to 10 pounds the next time you get on the machine. It may take a few sessions to kind of get you to the point where you're comfortable with the weight, and you'll know that weight is comfortable because when you get to the last few reps, that 9, 10, 11, 12, what you're going to feel, or what you should feel, is you should feel a shake in the muscle group, all right? Because then you'll know you're really fatiguing those muscle fibers out, and that's where you really get the strength gain from. Surprisingly enough, the people that I've put Slo Mo on, relatively no muscle soreness the next day or the day after, because of the fact that the reps are nice, smooth, and steady, and because of the fact that you're using lighter weights as opposed to heavier weights being thrown back and forth. So there's definitely less damage to the muscle. All right. Slo Mo technique, good for injury too. If you're coming off an injury of the knee or the shoulder, let's say, because you're using lighter weight, because the rep is nice, smooth, and steady. I like to use it for folks that are coming off rehab and want to continue to work on building strength in a particular joint. I mean, why not? Again, it's been proven to develop strength the quickest. But Slo Mo, it's going to help develop strength, which is a component of power, and that's going to get you down the fairway a few more yards. You'll still need to incorporate some power exercises into the routine to complement the strength gains. It's adaptable to really any modality, so the selectorized pieces, free weights, or any other piece of exercise equipment that you may have. 8 to 12 reps. Make sure you're breathing throughout the rep. Give it a shot. You'll be surprised at what you'll see out on the golf course after a few weeks of doing Slo Mo.